hear what you're saying, and I can respect where you're coming from. And this is your first time here as a guest, and I get all that. Um, Let me just say this to all of you in the room, two new folks that's present. We have spoken before on a wide variety of issues. You've spoken to some of my staff members prior to your coming here today. And I'm pretty sure they made you aware of particular things that we do inside of our operations. And apparently you were comfortable with what you heard. Sufficient for you to find it worthy of your time to be here. So let me just say this. We don't do anything contrived. Everything we do here is for a reason. Logical and reasonable, no emotion involved. We get down to that which is important. The reason being, we don't do counterintuitive. We don't do that which is not productive. We do that which is productive. And there's a reason as to why we're able to do things successfully we have done thus far. We humble ourselves and listen, and we research, and we do critical thinking, and we engage in implementation of our critical thoughts on our own terms, within the rigors of that which the Creator puts upon us. There is nothing that we can do to make something manifest if it's not in harmony with that which the Creator has decided. Our best efforts can be for naught. And if it's not to manifest, there's nothing we can do about it. If it is to manifest, there is nothing anywhere that can be done to stop it. That said, we are expanding into other areas, and it's requiring us to ramp up particular things as a consequence of the gifts that we've been allowed to have from the Creator and the ancestors. We discussed these things prior to your arrival. You've been online, you've been looking at things, and you're here. And other areas are experiencing the same thing. Once I am able to take care of a few other matters that we have to take out of the way, in other words, our priorities that we have to fulfill, we will expand our fleet and acquire larger units that run on diesel fuel, units that that have 31-gallon tanks aboard or more, and units that have the ability to have at least 14 miles per gallon cruising range, because that will put you at well over 400 Earth miles distance, pushing 500 Earth mile distance on one particular tank of diesel fuel, biodiesel fuel that we process and refine in the various cities. So we know that it's B100, there's no sulfur or anything else from a petroleum-based fuel. And so we know that we're not making any environmental impact, and if any of that fuel were to spill, we know it just turns to sugar, because that's basically what it is. And it will turn to sugar and water, so we're not going to have that concern. So effectively, we can get the fleet moving in a manner where the Imperial Postal Service can see after various things moving around throughout the various cities. So, for example, in New Atlantis, where they grow basil, and say Agadi Medina, where cabbage is to be grown. Let's say in Town Memphis, where strawberries are to be grown. You can move these around from one location to the next via those authorized to do so aboard vessels that are, well, in this case, they're commercial. So commercial manners of moving these things around. If it's done so regarding this jurisdiction, then it will always be done strictly under biodiesel powered units using B100 biodiesel fuel only. And we have discussed this before about folks having concerns about food supply being tampered with because of the rise in demand of corn for fuel purposes. And we discussed this already. That is generally just a concern for those dealing in ethanol, when you require a lot of corn, but not the kernel, the corn stalk. But folks in the farm venue, knowing full well that alternative fuels are a detriment to their petroleum-based operations, they purposely use the corn kernel, which could be used for food for those who eat that. They have done it in a manner where they have created shortages of the corn, knowing full well you don't need the corn to process and produce ethanol. They did this knowing that they can use the stalk of the corn to process and produce ethanol. They did this artificially creating a shortage in food, driving up the demand, which is creating all this other upheaval all throughout global economies. And it's being done, in my view, it's nothing short of being malicious. And it requires our folks to take a different tact. Do for self. Figure out how to get into whatever is necessary and get into a position to do whatever is necessary that is right and just, that will cause the manifest that you have the ability to grow food on your own terms. Farming as you know it is a way. Internal farms are another way. Folks are talking about internal farms as if they're actually, when I say internal, I'm talking about interior, greenhouse operations and hydroponics operations, like what the Amexem-Moor-Empire Department of Agriculture is responsible for. A lot of folks talk like this is something futuristic, and it is not. It is current, it is now. It needs to be expanded in all jurisdictions, so that you're not required just to grow corn or whatever you're growing for food stuff on farms. You can take used factories that have been shut down and convert them into farms, whether it's hydroponics operations or if it's greenhouse operations or on multiple levels. You got both going on. Point is, there are options: desire and will, and you must have both. The desire to do something will lead you to be able to manifest the will. It's all a matter of what you move to do in harmony with the creating ancestors. And again, you must do all things in the manner of keeping that in mind. Because I don't care what you do. If it's not meant to manifest, there's nothing you can do to make it happen. And if it's meant to, there's nothing that can be done to stop it. What the foreign folks do is what the foreign folks do. Lead them to their own devices. Focus on what you must do for you on your own terms. Put it into the ethers if you want to do that which is right and just to take care of you and your family, you and your collective, so that you and your family survive because you've got those around you who think, act, and speak as you do. Put these positive energies out into the ethers. Remember, you do reap what you sow. Sow the positive seeds and they will reap in time, and you will have great abundance. Think about that.